We're going to find ourselves with a P250 in the hands of Device, and he is certainly deadly with that particular pistol. We're getting straight in towards that connector. Simple open things up with the CZ. He needs to try and stay alive here. They've got the advantage. They're trying to fall back, but Mages answers back swiftly.
Very swift indeed. Simple gone early is a massive step forward in the pistol round. We know how menacing he can be. Keep an eye on the money as well. If teams are going to try and bring out the early AWP on round 3, if they're not going to overinvest on the second round, and not only that, the efficiency of the winning side. We've talked about all of these points. It's a massive difference. Yesterday, Navi actually managed to pick up round 2 on 2 separate occasions, but they just couldn't convert it overall. Zeus. Gap in the smoke at Heaven. He's able to find Xyp9x walking in. It's Device that wants to pin him back, hold him off of Glaive because they need to get the bomb down in the smoke. And they will be successful in doing so. Leaves them still just one man down in the 4-on-3.
The retake will begin here, Matt. The bomb's down, is ticking away, but Astralis is not way too strong here. They're going to mow them down one by one. It's just going to leave flaming, and nothing can be done. Mages will get 4 frags in the round. A simple procedure throughout as Astralis head towards a connector, come out on top in the exchange, make their way towards a B bomb site that gets planted comfortably, and Mages just lights them up. It's dangerous now. Once he starts getting the zone, it's difficult to get him out of it. As you can see, the Glock backstab coming through. They had no chance whatsoever, Matt.
Newest member on the team steps up, big pistol. Astralis start off with #1. Now this is where we start to analyze the slight differences. They've gone for a number of SMGs in this, in fact 4 of them, one of them being a MAC-10. It farms up cash, sure, and you're gonna go against presumably very little purchase power on the Navi side, as we've just got a delay to start things off. But this is where if they lose numbers, it's gonna be difficult for them without getting kills, especially on those SMGs, to bring out the AKs, and then the rifles are gonna come out for Navi. Again, depending on whether or not they go for the full save here or not, but it can actually mean a better buy in round 3 for Navi.
We have seen Navi force buy in the second round and overpass, but I do believe they'll go for the full eco here and indeed bring out those rifles in the third. And it is interesting the fact Astralis gets the SMGs. They want to try and farm the cash, mate. You have to remember as well, even if they keep the SMGs up, they're going to farm money if they get a clean sweep here, and they still have a fighting chance. The benefit of having the SMGs in a map like overpass, you're going to go for an execution in that first quote-unquote gun round. When the rifles come out in the third, they won't have their incendiaries perhaps. They won't have a full array of helmets, so potentially those SMGs could be very deadly, and it looks like we've got a slight technical issue here. Edward is getting some assistance right behind us. Matt, what's going on? Can you work out what's happening?
I can't. Just see the admin working on his PC. Actually see it better on the screen than I can behind me because they're lined up very close, but hopefully we get it sorted. Better to get this out of the way now.
We're back.
All right, he's given the thumbs up. Get it out of the way now, obviously, rather than when the guns come out and we're in the thick of the momentum, so get things moving again. The Astralis side 4 of the 5 kills from the man on the far right. Magisk leading the way. Good hold inside of the site as well, considering they were a man down and they had a 4-man approach that could have easily worked together. No boost required. There wasn't a lot of utility in the post plant. They just took it straight up kills. All right, so we've had the thumbs up. Looks like he's still got a slight issue.
So the thumbs up was not legit. It seems that we have a few more issues there. And with the headsets on as such, we'll try and save any sort of technical responses here. We'll have a look at the situation right now. Edward has left the server. He's going to restart the PC by the looks of things. But it is Astralis taking a lead. It is a T-sided map. They are certainly the favorites here. Astralis map actually wins 70% of their T-side rounds on overpass. That's quite an impressive figure for a CT-sided map, right?
Yeah, massively so. I mean, yesterday as well, we saw Navi. They actually, they had to come back against the first, excuse me, as they adjust my mic for me. They come back in the first half against FaZe, but obviously we expected more from them on the T side. They just never got that momentum going at all. So it's something we're going to have to keep an eye on, especially if Astralis start to accumulate these T-sided rounds against them. Keep in mind the op battle is going to be somewhat tantalizing in this. Simple. He's been flashy. We know how good he can be, but consistency on the op, you might favor Device still.
On this map especially, I feel like Device's play style on this particular map is just absolutely beautiful. Simple can do it as well. He's a lot more aggressive in Device. I find Device to be tactical and making sure he has calculated aggression instead of relentless. He makes sure he's dynamic. He's moving around the map every single round. He'll be in the B side towards middle, towards long, in the bathrooms, just hanging out. Wherever you don't expect him to be, that's where he normally finds you. So it can be a very problematic experience going up against him, but Simple, as expected, going to be one of the world's best here at Blast Pro Series. We saw his player guard coming in. He's the highest rated player by far. And it looks like the players are ready, so we should be getting back into the action, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. It's currently 1-0 to Astralis. And I can confirm Navi are taking the full eco here. It is the new patch, of course, and you get $1,900 after losing the pistol, meaning you can get rifles out in the third. We're just going to see one purchase on the CT side, and that's Simple, bringing out the P250. Surprising, considering he really requires the AWP, but he's going to be getting a rifle regardless next round, so it's not a huge deal as the Molotovs come through. This could be Astralis not forcing the issue map. They're going to hold in a slow default to begin with, dissect the map. They do not want to be entering these choke points unless they will actually be able to confirm that there's no stack there. They want to make sure they get the information first.
So Dupree holds up by the sandbags. You're right in saying the P250 is interesting because it won't necessarily guarantee that the AWP comes out in the next round, but there's not a lot of investment. We need to make sure the efficiency is now the matter of point for Astralis. Keep in mind as well that the SMGs against the armorless opponents can farm up cash. Now, there's interesting strategy that could come into this as well. A full save, even though there's nothing that they're saving, but a full save, quote unquote, from Navi would actually disallow those SMGs to farm any cash and therefore limit them into what would be a bonus round, again, with lesser weapons in round 3.
That's a very good point, and that's exactly what I pointed out here. The fact that if Astralis, sure, they have SMGs, but they're going to farm so much cash from it, they won't go hunting for it necessarily. There's nothing for them to gather in terms of weaponry and disallow anything to be taken to the next round. But this is smart from Navi. We are interested this weekend to see whether there would be any sort of developments in the meta in terms of the financial game, but this is a very interesting approach, and it's very rare to see around a Counter-Strike where all 10 players survive. Well, it looks like the round is confirmed. Astralis will take the 2-0, but the game really begins in the next round. Well, Navi will be buying up right now.
That's a smart decision by Navi. I definitely can agree with that. Remember, they're the same team that also jumped into Molotovs on purpose to deny cash. They certainly think long-term. So they've not allowed any money to be farmed. Yes, the winning round does mean, okay, they don't need to reinvest, but they don't get as much cash as they would have liked from those. In fact, in some cases, you'd like the SMGs to get maybe 2 kills, go down, and then you bring out yet another AK. So a single rifle to now go against almost a full buy. Flamey is actually the one to bring out the AWP, and he goes glass cannon with it.
He had the exact cash to bring out the AWP. He is the secondary sniper for Navi, and he's trying to surprise him here. But look, there's only 2 players of helmets here. This is why Astralis don't mind having the UMPs, the MAC-10 here. They actually become very deadly, and Flamey, he's so squishy at that point. He has to nail this shot, and he absolutely does. He takes down Magus there. It's a good opening pit. They couldn't really sit back and wait for Astralis to execute a nice opening kill, and at this point, it's up to Astralis to try and recover. I still think they'll execute fully towards that B-bomb side.
He moves immediately, can't afford to stay aggressive. One of the 2 players with the helmet, obviously Simple. He's going to want to battle as much as he can. Slow things down from the Astralis side. Minute and 10. We saw some very fast-paced in yesterday's games, but less so now as Device heads back toward Monster. Watch Zeus, because if they take their time on this execution, if he gets the call to open that door while they're still throwing Molotovs, he'll get a shot on Dupree, who's not at all ready to defend. It's going to slow things down again toward the sandbags approach. Can't quite find the shot, Flamey. That allows Xyp9x the entrance from Monster, and Zeus overcommits. Glaive was waiting. He's not only got one, but he finds Simple as well. They now have the advantage on the Astralis side. A flash will hold Electronic on Catwalk. He can't quite go over the smoke yet, and that smoke's going to give Device a lot more room, but Electronic might have other ideas. Smart from Device. He wants to re-clear onto Barrels. Glaive, what a round from him. 3 kills, and just like that, Edward has to consider saving. He's backed off already. No chance he picks this up without a kit bomb. Still not planted, so he could still surprise them, but Device had the angle, gets the kill. 3-0 Astralis.
Absolutely clinical there from Astralis. Like we said, those SMGs deadly against players of our helmets. Even with the full eco, you have to choose. You want a bit of utility, or do you want the defensive helmet? And it looks like they went for the grenade. You need something to battle Astralis here, but this puts the Danes in such a strong position. Not only have they got an AWP for free here, Matt, they have completely sabotaged the financial situation of Navi. They've called a technical pause again, so it gives us a chance to dissect the situation. As Glaive, he shows us what he can do with an SMG. He's been playing out of his mind in the last few months. He has looked like one of the best fragging in-game leaders we have in the game right now. Absolutely influential in the success Astralis have found. Navi with around $3,000 per player. That does not allow much to be purchased here, but with 4 state loss bonus coming up next, they can definitely get some deagles and some basic utility here. And players like Simple and Flamey with deagles, Matt, it's a very scary prospect. You can't take it lightly.
Absolutely not. Simple, we know, is so good on that weapon. He's scoreless so far, really trying to get back into this game. He's been cut off early in the rounds twice. Glaive really outplayed him by sitting in the corner. They expected that Dupree was going to be the only one inside of the water position. So we are ready to get back underway.
Do you want to do some singing as well?
Wasn't this the British chant that they had?
I'm not sure.
Some political reference there.
Let's have a listen.
So it was a tactical pause that time. I think they're singing to you, Hank. Simple's going to go aggressive with the pistols. Not much to lose in this. They can try and catch off maybe an Astralis player, get a gun early, but if they play the buddy system, as you would say, Henry, there's no real reason that Astralis should give away weapons in this occasion. An AK carried over would be lovely at this point for Navi when they want to get that bonus really rolling in the next round.
Yeah, but they just received a nuke of a grenade. That's going to be Flamey and Edward down to just absolutely nothing in terms of health. They do have the Deagles and the CZ. Electronic and Zeus will invest a bit more with the Kevlar there. There's a boost, but not for long. Magisk lights them up. There's a wallbang to follow up. Are you kidding me? That is pretty sensational. Magisk, after detecting the push towards shore, dropping a nade on them, they'll get really clinical kills there as well. It's now a 5 versus 3. Zeus, Electronic, and Simple just hoping to pick up a frag at this point. There's been barely any. There we go. Simple takes down Device. That's a pretty beautiful shot.
Yeah, you called it. Deagle for Simple. He's easily able to collect. Electronic now has an AK. That's something to consider, but he's going to be in battle still. So it's not like that AK is going to be saved at this point. He's going to try and utilize it to cut off Zipix. He's forward of the smoke at Monster. He's actually already on the precipice of the site beyond the mouth. He's got the angle, but there you go. The AK picked up. It might only be 10 HP for Electronic, but it's going to consider the bomb to go elsewhere, and then he's going to rotate off, anticipating perhaps that they will go back over toward A. Glave's the one holding it.
Well, all of a sudden, there's a chance here for Navi, looking for that first round on the board. 20 seconds remaining. Electronic currently in transition between A and B. Dupree and Glaive make their way to the site. Molotov towards Bank. Smoke on the site, and they're going to go for the plant here. Will it be successful? Simple, so powerful in these sort of situations. He still has 100 HP, and his tag team duo, Electronic, with him. Glaive will actually go for the long con here. He knows they won't have a kit mat, so he can afford to actually make the transition all the way around towards bathrooms.
Tap the bomb first, try and pull Glaive forward. Simple's the one who's now got the AK, and he's gonna hunt. No question Simple was gonna find that kill as he got the lineup early. That single AK carried over. Now we talk about not only an AK being saved, we talk about a round 1. Forget the lost round bonus. 2 AKs brought up. This would be massive. Actually, excuse me, Simple's now found the AWP. So this is a massive boost in the economy. This is what Navi need to get back into this game. Lots of money left for Astralis. But Simple, what spawn does he get as well? Because if he really wanted to, he could set the tempo in this game. This was a great transfer, by the way. He read that it was a boost, sprayed immediately where the second player would be. Great kill.
Unfortunately, didn't lead to the round victory. Such a great start. Like we said, Electronic and Simple is a scary prospect, and you can see how powerful their aim can be. This is where the game really gets interesting now. Navi have got themselves stabilized. They've got money. They've got utility, armor, the AWP. Simple didn't have the best spawn, but he still goes towards middle, using the smoke as shroud to try and pick up the first. It will be Electronic, though, so aggressive as he takes down Glaive. He comes out with 44 HP, but they'll take that all day long. They've got an early advantage, and they've got away back towards that bomb site.
Good hold for Dupree this time. Doesn't want that door to open behind him. The pace will be picked up. Simple has to retreat with the AWP. They'll reconsider and regroup toward the A site. That man advantage, they don't actually need to overextend too far on the map at this point, Navi. Interesting position from Edward. We saw this from Device actually yesterday.
Yeah, it's a really awkward spot. You kind of blend into the grills of the vent that's there. So it's not a pre-angle, and you can definitely struggle when you're walking on the T side, a very uncommon position. Less than a minute remaining, still the advantage for Navi, but Astralis are getting some map control. They've got long, and they're going to boost up behind the flower bed. That's quite creative. We'll see Electronic on the other side. Difficult position to play, but he has got Simple to back him up, who's currently holding the A sites and maybe transitioning towards that long position.
And that boost won't spot Electronic, so he still has an angle. Spots the flash. Great read from Magisk. They still check it. They know well that they don't have the information in that position. Device is set and ready. He was waiting for the re-peek as well. He read that extremely well, that Simple would be inside of the site, that he'd already fallen back, having gone aggressive with the op earlier on in the round. Zeus, he needs support as well, but it's going to be a rotation back over toward B. No one, oh, I take it back. I was going to say no one's rotated yet. Flamey started to, so it's really just Edward at this point. Flamey's realized it. He starts to rotate back, but Edward, good swing. He wasn't there originally. He swings it after they committed to checking on the jungle, which means he had a wide shot, but great response. Flamey burns, and Dupree able to find one. It's all on to Simple. Back into the site, actually walls through. and takes Magisk down to 2 HP. Bomb is at his feet, he's already planted out. They've got to hold off the angles, and it's well struck. Dupree reads the flank, Zeus goes down 4-1. Astralis back into winning ways.
A quick answer there from Astralis. It came right down to the wire as well. They get the 2 kills on the bombs. It looked like Edward had done enough there, finding the kill on the ramp, fading away, but too much discipline from Astralis. The synergy as they come through together. They're so efficient at clearing out bomb sites in 8 seconds remaining. No problem on the plant, and a great finish as well. That is actually quite a harsh reset. Even with the eco victory, Navi, they're force buying, Matt.
5,500 for
They've got
simple.
enough.
That's why. Yep,
yes.
Exactly. And he's considering it. You can tell he would have purchased, but yeah, done. He's bringing out the op, and he's got armor to go with it.
This is a defining point of the game, and a best of one. Early stage, sure, but remember, Astralis are on the T side of overpass. Navi are financially ruined. They've taken a force buy here. If they don't win this, they'll be 5-1 down with another eco ahead of them. Right now, they have the AWP, the FAMAS, M4, a few smokes, and some pistols. That is absolutely it. This is where it could fall apart for Navi. If they win this round, they're right back in the game again, but it's going to be another labored affair. In we go. Simple. He can't sit back either, Matt. He has to be combative here. He has to make sure he's up front, finding the first kill. And for now, holds in the party position. You can see Dupree doesn't want to commit, doesn't want to go frag hunting here. They're not sure what has been purchased up. That's the first port of call here. What kind of buy have they got? They could bring some weaponry out here. We need to work out what they've got.
Patience from Edward. Magisk down below. Casually used. Great flash. Great pop flash. Utility to get around the corner, but it was the timing from Zeus, knowing that they were going to look that direction after the flash went that far, and he strikes twice. This can be turned around. Flamey at long has device down. And suddenly it's another round stolen away. So Navi winning the rounds, or statistically speaking, they shouldn't. And Zipix, well, if he's really the minister of clutch, he's going to have a large one now. Can't do it. Zeus already gets the AK. 4-2, good response, and Navi's doing just enough to keep themselves in this.
Yeah, that's 1 eco victory and now a force buy as well. That was must win for them. It's a calculated risk, so they know how good they are on the force buys. They're one of the best teams in the world at purchasing up with the CZs. If they get a simple AWP as well, why not give it a go? And it works out for them. They're right back in this now, and all of a sudden, they're the ones that are in charge. They have a full array of weaponry, and it's Astralis with 2 rifles, 3 pistols, and this will be an execution of sorts. They're going to have to try and get some base and map control, and they won't be able to challenge the likes of Simple. It's actually going to be the first kill going in favor of Electronic with the incendiary following up on the tag.
Exactly. He lagged him, and that was just enough for the damage of the flames to do the final tick. It looked a little awkward, but that's certainly how it transpired, and Simple knows that he can now fall back, missed shot, but has to run and run fast. He's lost Electronic at the front side of the bathrooms. Good approach from Magisk, and Simple knowing that that angle now is no longer safe. He does not have a support system. Rather than running with his back turned, he'll immediately go back on the offense and try and hold them off, but they've subsided Astralis. They'll change the pace. Zipix has the AK to work with, so too does Dupree. Device and Magisk will have to be a little more aggressive and try and find information.
It all comes to a standstill, so quite the advantage here for Navi. Lovely boost towards that connector. May just needs to be very careful at this point. He's low HP already. He's hoping a push will come through and he can steal a kill away with that CZ. They still have 4 smokes, Molotovs here, and a flashbang. That suggests to me an A execution will be coming through momentarily. They have about 45 seconds remaining. 2 players on the B bomb side for Navi. The bomb currently held in the bathrooms by Device as Dupree edges his way up long. This is the execution now. You can see them lining up the smokes. Objective first, of course, get that bomb plant down with the smokes, and with the chaos of all the smokes and flashes going off, that's when the CZs can really push through and maybe challenge the AWPers behind them.
And they're going to go first, and that's why Device has bomb as well, because they want the rifles to take the kill. I said it. They'll play for information. In other words, yes, they'll try and go strength in numbers, use that chaos, but they'll relay the information to the 2 players with AKs who can make good on them. Smoke goes down, wide side, good find from Dupree. That's Zeus, he was behind the box. That should now allow the plant, and Dupree knows that those smokes are still covered. He'll play the backside of the truck, the armored van. It gives them the information, they'll fall back together, bomb planted, and they could steal this away. Simple has the AWP, but he has no access point. Smoke's only dissipating now. They've got time with kits, he and Edward both have one. But there's so much reassurance, and I guess you want to call it insurance policy from the positioning. You've got Device and Zipix up close. They can play ahead of smokes that are thrown out toward bathrooms. Magisk already watching the flank. Even if they get on this, it's going to have to be perfect from Simple to protect. So far, it is. Looks for another, and he's got it. That is brilliant from Navi. You have to give credit where it's due.
They're going for a full 10-second defuse there as well, and they had kits. That's pretty unbelievable. The defuse in the smoke, the players defending, and they hit every single shot. Sure, the bomb's planted looked very good for Astralis, Astralis, but Navi completely shut them down. They have a healthy amount of players survive as well, and there's the initial frag. It's a very standard incendiary these days, but the follow-up tag was absolutely everything. And look at Simple go. He's flicking around. He's so good with that orb.
That's such a good read, too, because you could go for a body block, but instead he wants the vision. He doesn't want to chance it at all. He knows he's fast enough to get those kills.
Absolutely. Can't argue with him there. Eco for Astralis here. Some Deagles, P250s. I think they can definitely assume it will be an eco at this point. Navi do not have to be too aggressive at this point. Make sure they have the crossfire set up, get a kill, fall backs. Let's see Electronic. That's good discipline there. Sees one, doesn't re-peek it after confirming they are on eco.
Timing slightly off for Simple. Scoped out just as they peek. Seems to be the way. Dupree with a deagle at Sandbags. A famed clip on the CT side when he was defending with it.
He's done some decent things with the deagle before. I'll give him that.
It just goes down first and foremost.
There it is.
But exactly that. Dupree steps up to find Flamey, so that deagle already getting one. Edward Wideside Monster alone in the site as well. That's almost tantalizing that if they tried to push him, that's pretty good from him, all things considered. If they pushed in together and overwhelmed him, he doesn't have anyone to support and nowhere to hide. But it was a perfect setup for him in that they were staggered, that he was able to get the lineup onto them. And it leaves us with Device trying to do everything he can toward A. Economic damage really the name of the game at this point in time. Not a ton of cash built up on that CT side, but he won't get anyone further. We're tied up at 4.
Navi had to work really, really hard to get back in this game. An eco victory, then the force buy. So many risks taken. But like we said, if ever there was a team that was going to find success with a mishmash purchase, they would certainly be up there. Simple, now looking sharp. He found himself 8 frags in total, 3 rounds in a row for Navi. We are all tied up, and Device, he'll have to make do with the AK-47. They could not afford any snipers going into this one. As we enter round number 9 now, it will be Simple this time, changing things up. Maybe going towards Connector, potentially, as he goes down the steps. Just wants to make sure he changes position, stays dynamic. Throws the initial smoke. This is Electronic hunting. His aim is looking pretty on point today as well.
Over toward B instead. Got a rotation from Zeus, so this is pretty solid setup for Navi to hold with. They're still clearing out towards short pipe on the Astralis side. Utility-wise, there's smoke available on B. Flamey's the one that has it. Edward's got one as well. They can certainly delay this, but it's not going to have time to be thrown because it's a fast take from Astralis. Fast, but unfortunately not finding kills yet. It might. Zipic gets to the barrels. That's going to open up Catwalk. Dupree struck as soon as the distraction was taken, and Dupree goes further than that. Great tandem strike from both Dupree and Zipic, entering at its finest, as now Simple and Electronic have to clutch this back. Bomb gets planted, and it's a man advantage, make that doubly so for Astralis. Glaive is going to send Simple running with the AWP.
Back and forth we go. We're in for a treat at this point. We'll see Astralis executing towards the B site, and they're so deadly when they get in position. If you allow their default to be successful, get a bit of map control, and they're in position to get a couple of kills and get those smokes down, they're going to hit every single shot as Glaive goes hunting. Simple takes him down in the P250.
That round is going to start to change something as well. Navi was sitting back, hoping that they could actually play time to their favor, and then use the utility to really thwart Astralis when they were panicking, when they were last minute trying to get into the site. They went early, no smokes in place. Navi gets caught behind the single smoke on the ramp that Astralis had. Now Navi's going to start to think, hang on, we can't wait. We've got to get our utility out early. And if Astralis slow it down, they can bait out all of that defensive utility and then take the site far more easily. So that's going to set a tempo for Astralis as they take back the lead at 5-4.
Well, both teams will be a breaking point at this stage. See, a UMP purchase by Glaive was actually a very intelligent purchase. He knows the money's not going to be amazing for Navi. They're going to have 2 players of our helmets here, so once again, he'll be deadly going into the next round. And Astralis, they could even change the pace of this one. We haven't seen a contact play of them towards B. We haven't seen anything super aggressive and fast. If I'm the caller of this team right now, that's when I'm changing things up. Just when you start to stabilize, you know it's a little bit rough on your opposition side. This is when you want to go for a fast approach and just change the pace of the game. No more defaults. Maybe a straight-up execution. We'll see what they can bring to the table here. It will be just P50 Simple right now. I'm sure he's got a weapon on the floor for himself. Does he have the AWP, though? That's the question. He could definitely afford one, but he had to drop weapons for his teammates as well. Whoever wins this one will be sending their opposition straight to Eco Town. It's not a good place to be. Glaive with the bomb, and Simple going for the first pick once again. They extinguish the flames with the smoke, and they actually cross safely this time. Not going to get tagged up and burnt to a crisp.
from Dupree again. So Astralis, not unexpectedly, will definitely, again, bleed this round out. There's so much utility still in play on the CT side. Not a single smoke thrown yet. That actually isn't too uncommon on Overpass because you can play so aggressively on A. You play for information and almost picks on the CT side first. It's kind of a unique map in that way, where that's the default setup, exactly that simple, and now they'll throw them as they fall back. So that's the only time you're going to start to see sort of pre-1 minute mark CTs use those smokes and Molotovs.
It's so difficult to justify going towards the A side against Navi. They've got Electronic holding the bathrooms. They've got Simple holding middle with the AWP. But how do you break those guys down? They're so individually skilled.
And, well, you can see the result of that as well. Even Navi knows that they're already rotating early. They've got Edward, Zeus, Flamey, most commonly. Maybe someone in Heaven. They've had a swing a few times, but usually all three of them in B.
Oh, they're going to be tested right now. It has been a weakness so far. Astralis know they can capitalize upon this. They drop the smokes in, the flashbangs too. Glaive hunting for unarmored heads here. He's going to find one shortly. Edward with the first, and Navi looking so comfortable here. It's just Dupree now left in the 4 versus 1, but there's nothing he can do. One player goes down for Navi, but 4 survive, including the AWP, and they're going to tie things up. And as mentioned before, Astralis lose that round. They are going back to the eco here. But remember, on the T side of Overpass, they don't need to win this half necessarily. Posting 6 or 7 rounds is actually a success in its own right. Astralis usually post a bit more than that, but they're very well versed on this particular map. Simple hits that first shot, and that's the funnel effect towards the B bomb side. As soon as you read that name in the top right, Simple's playing middle. Let's just go towards B, chaps. Let's make sure we fall back. And this is actually the full investment map. They didn't have to do this. They could have bought it. They had about $2,000 per player. They were going to get $1,900 next round. Wouldn't have been an ideal buy, but still, they're going to try their luck with the Force now. Deagles, CZs, they have the smokes, they have the armor. Let's see if they can find those opening picks. And it's Dupree investigating towards middle again. That's brave considering what we just mentioned with Simple and Electronic holding these positions. Now with AK-47s too.
Through, that'll do, wow, both ways to be fair. A little bit of damage onto Edward, the same onto Magisk. Both have armor. Both come out mid-60s. Electronic at long. As soon as that nade's thrown, Device is so wide that he could actually swing, and he's going to. Doesn't quite get the shot. If he goes too far, he's got to be cautious long. This becomes a bit of a problem for him if he overcommits. Thankfully, he's got a smoke down that actually baits Device around the corner. He pulled him back and baited Simple into it with the AWP. Good play, all things considered. Could have been very, very awkward the other way. Gives them the man advantage. Zipix, meanwhile, CZ this time will start to probe out the B side. He's got the bomb behind him. He can certainly work off with it. Edward on the ramp has Flamey to bait in and another buddy system in place. This time 3 over toward A from Navi, so they're trying to anticipate and read Astralis' approach.
Dupree holds towards middle, but it's going to be taken down there. Electronic finds him with the AK, and slowly but surely, Navi is picking up the kills required. There's 1 smoke remaining, 3 players alive. The bombs alone as Zipex desperately tries to sell any sort of fake he can, and his Glaive. This is a cheeky move. He actually tries to go plant to the A side right now, and all this is going on. He'll try his best, but that's round done. 5 on 1. Magisk will not get a plant out of this. He wants to actually die at this point. If he gets both these kills, he might get a plant. Great attempt. Almost got the bomb down there. A sign of things to come, surely. But that was the force buy from Astralis, and now they're going to have to be full eco. Nothing for them to do in round number 12.
Yeah, and this is the first lead for Navi, so this will actually extend it. CT side, we know that their T side is a problem. And by a problem, I mean for Astralis in that matter. They're extremely menacing on it. Play by Simple to get forward to that smoke as well to make sure he had the shot. Closes it out as well.
You just see in those highlights, he's on A, he's on B, he's in middle, he's hitting all the shots everywhere they are. He's waiting for them. It's pretty magical at times to watch Simple really buckle down and find the shots and understand what's happening here. But there could be a bit of problem here. We're going to see a couple of kills on Navi, and it will be stabilized. Device opened things up. I thought there'd be more to come, but Zipex now with just a Glock, no armor, up against 4. They'll just be waiting to go down. And Navi extending their lead. They had a rough start to this one, but some brave Cavalier purchases with the Deagles, the FAMASs, the AWP have got them right back in this game. And now they're in cruise control. That's going to be another 3 rounds in a row for them. Problem is, Matt, as well, Astralis, they haven't had the AWP for the last 5 rounds or so. They're just getting these bare bone buys out, AKs, basic utility. They haven't really looked comfortable in the latter stages of the first half here.
Keep in mind, all 3 games going on at the same time. We've got them all in the arena for everyone here, but for those on the stream, just to update you, 11-4 for NIP over MIBR, and Cloud9 the same score over FaZe. If Cloud9 pulls that off with Golden back, fantastic. But that puts FaZe from the top of the leaderboard back into the mix, and MIBR would go down 0-3 should they lose to an IP. That's pretty much them out.
That would be them competing for 3rd to 4th place at that point. There's no way they'd get the top 2.
So Simple with the op this time goes default to B. They're actually going to put a lot of pressure on that side of the map. The only one still over on A is Electronic. Nade out, do too much to Magisk. He's aware of where it came from, so tries to spray back. If Zeus stepped out too far or too wide, he might have been hit by a single stray bullet. Still checking for things. No boost for him yet. Content and staying toward the B side as well, so they're really trying to force Astralis' hand, and it's kind of what you said. They know that Simple's normally on the A site. They know that Electronic's there. By default, you're going to be more inclined to go to the B side of the map, so again, if they really want to take control of this gun round and force Astralis back, it would be a 4th round bonus. We haven't had anyone really maximize that money bonus yet. It's been pretty back and forth in the mid-half. Edward faded in. That brings Flamey around. Edward gets both. Doesn't even go for the one and done in that position. They weren't even committed, and he still slid down to find the kills, but Dupree goes back knowing the bomb is there and hoping desperately that through the smoke he can catch the low HP on Edward. The bomb inside of that smoke is a perfect situation for Navi. Device considering with 24 seconds that maybe the AK is worth it because there's no chance he's going to lurk all the way around behind them at that point in time. So Dupree looking for a few kills. They're going to have to save it. T-side save, never ideal. Zeus, he'll take down one of the other AKs, one of the 2 AKs. And no money for Device carried over, but he at least gets the weapon.
This is getting quite brutal now. That's going to be 8-5. Navi keep everyone alive at this point. He's going to round number 14. Loss bonus going to be a 4th stage. Astralis, once again, without the plan, won't be able to buy here. They have got Device. I just noticed, Matt. Device is 2-9 right now. He's the absolute star player, the backbone of this team. He needs to be performing. We pointed out he hasn't got the AWP once, and he's looking a shadow of his former self. Yesterday, lights out, managed to light the scoreboard up, no problem whatsoever. Really struggling today, and Simple certainly not. He's 14-3.
I think you have to look at the trends of the money as well, though, because you go... Just bring it up again for me on the scoreboard. If you look at sort of where we were in terms of rounds, it was 3 in a row. No need to reinvest, so he's not going to bring out the AWP in that. Then they got eco'd. It was almost like every time he might have brought out the AWP was exactly when they lost a round and left him in a situation when Device couldn't bring it up. Dupree, aggressive already, round the corner. Zeus has him down. That's the first entry, but it's the next 2 that matter because they're going to trade off of each other at Monster. Magisk finds one in Flamey, but they figured out Zipix's flight path. Over the barrels every single time, and unfortunately no one to work with means no distraction. They're staring in his direction. Device and Glaive with it all to do.
They have to get a plan here. It's unlikely to win the round at this point, but the bomb has to go down to stand a chance in round number 15 here. That's their only objective at this point. Glaive looking for any sort of window of opportunity. The smokes are going down. I think his options are extremely limited. Edward and Navi being extremely disciplined at this point, man. They're not giving anything away. They're not hunting for the frags. They're happy to wait at this point. They've got a huge advantage. The 4-on-2. There's no grenades left for Astralis, and they're holding up and waiting for mistakes to be made.
Even Electronic considering that maybe they fell back on this, but Edward gets aggressive, and finally we've got 5 in a row for a team. Navi on fire, and that means maximum bonus for Astralis, which they'll buy into on round 15.
Zipex 2-11 as well. That's 2 players that are instrumental in the success of Astralis on overpasses. Haven't turned up to this first half. Remember, they have 5 rounds on the board, though. This is still okay. Certainly not ideal, I'll say that much. The bomb didn't get planted in the previous round, meaning another suffocating buy here. You've got 2 UMPs, a CZ, 2 AK-47s, and bare bones utility. And Edward, I have to say, Matt, he is looking incredibly sharp. Those shots are really crisp, and he's not giving much away at all. He's currently 14-7. He's got the same amount of frags as Simple. Good to see him performing today on the big stage. We have had a TeamSpeak issue, I believe, so we're going to take a quick pause here as we enter the final round of the first half. We'll see AK-47s out in doubles for Navi. That's going to be Zeus and Edward wielding those. No AWP for the final round, which I find surprising. He's been so successful for Simple so far. He'll be happy. Or he must have one on the ground. So what he's done is he's going to leave the spawn position with weaponry. He's going to have orbs there, rifles. He can fall back in transition and pick up the weapon that's going to be appropriate for his task.
He's also capable, more than capable on both weapons, much like Device. He can be a bit of a hybrid in that way. Both of them could easily fit in any other team or any other role and still be successful. So we get back into it, round 15. This game's slightly behind in the other 2, but that's all right. Astralis really need to pull up their stocks in the second half this round as well. Get it to 9-6. With the AK, you're really looking to Magisk, and naturally he's been given 1 device. Will comfortably stay on the CZ. I think when you're hot and when you're not, you've got to identify that. point forcing the issue and giving him the weapon that unfortunately hasn't gone well for him. Smoke out early from Xyp9x, but flash, counter flash, no, Electronic can't hit the shots. That could have been an easy double spray down for him, and somehow they get away from it. Magisk with the 1 AK does find the kill, but he's sends Paris to the hands of Simple, who holds for Glaive. Good catch as well. This AWP works perfectly. He hasn't even gone back to spawn yet. Flamey as well, same approach, has one he can fall back with. They've given up some monster position, which means they allow the wrap of the site, which means that Flamey has to switch to a Deagle. Molotov that direction, there's actually an AWP down, so Navi's gonna try and move quickly and make sure that they don't allow that to be grabbed, but Xyp9x reads it well, goes toward Edward. He'll grab the rifle, head back to the site. He still has to work this alone, 1-on-2. Chance to clutch for him. Kits for both players on Navi's side. 3 kills already for Simple. And he has gone to the M4 as he rotated back through spawn. Missed for opening shot. Xyp9x, he can't find it either, and now they can double up. Zeus trying to hold off his angle. Get toward the bomb. The defuse is on 5 seconds. No way Xyp9x can do anything from there. He's not done enough damage to Simple in the exchange for the nade to count, so it's 10-5 Navi.
Decent attempt there, but something's not quite right with Astralis. Xyp9x and Device finish with 6 frags between them. Those are 2 big names on Overpass you expect to win those sort of rounds, to have the clutches. We had the video before this game, everyone celebrating how successful he is in those sort of situations. But Navi, after having a rough start here, remember they were what? 4-1 down at one stage, you bring it back to 10-5. That just goes to show you, once the gun rounds began, they were out of control. They looked much better than Astralis
But keep in mind, their first 2 rounds came on pistols, came on ecos. Right. That's what just kept them enough in to keep them in this. I mean, Astralis could have really ran away with that at times. So they start out the CT side pistol, and in doing so, they put armor on everyone except for Glaive. Glaive instead goes for a CZ75. Maybe we'll get aggressive on the Glock. No purchase really in terms of armor for Electronic and Zeus, but they want utility. Edward's got the chest piece to go along with it. I want to note that no one's gone for a full save yet in the pistol. We've talked about that being something that could be likely if you want to run a Glock train and just try and overwhelm the site. Bring out early AWP, sort of round 3, maybe even earlier than that on the AKs to get the purchase up. But Glaive, he finds the first shot. Zeus goes down. Flamey, he follows though because it's Dupree that gets the shot back. Look at Simple and Edward. A bloodbath inside of the hallway, and it's gone the way of Navi. Well done from Simple as he gets the P250 rolling.
Absolutely savage there in the connector. Looked like Astralis had the lead, man. They had 3 players there, juking it out with Simple, but he reloads a P250, gets his second frag, and finds his advantageous position for Navi. It's now the 3 versus 2. Magis and Xyp9x need to win this round. Magis has 16 frags to his name so far, the only player performing on the same level as Navi. Xyp9x had the chance before, but he might be caught out here. Electronics right in his position. Smoke thrown, he's got to hit this. It's a scrappy one. He's got to get this kill, man. It's falling apart. Xyp9x is off today, and now he gets taken down. Wow. That's an absolute nightmare. What a crumble.
That was bomb as well. That could have amounted to so much in this round, and now Edward just walks in to find Magisk. That's a huge miss from Xyp9x.
He had to hit that. That's going to be in his head now. If that last round wasn't already, this is going to be difficult to recover. They're going to have to force buy here. Dupree's already purchased the scout. This might not be the correct call here. They could get rifles in the 3rd, but they're going all in on the 2nd. Deagles, scouts, 1 smoke, now 3. This is going to be an extremely important and indicative moment of the game. Navi could close it out in the next few rounds if they cleanly pick these up.
It's something in the water this morning. We had close games all day yesterday. Today, Nips on 15 against MIVR and Cloud9's on 14 against FaZe. Both those still in single digits against them, so everything's kind of upside down from what you might have expected. Simple, good shot, finds Glaive with the AK. Device, let's put 1 back on the CZ, but Simple's going to double up and continue to add numbers to his total. The game from him so far, 21 kills for Simple. Wow, Flamey as well tries to work closer, make it 22. That's through the edge of his smoke to find Dupree. Electronic gets position, beats Flamey to the punch on Xyp9x, but another round inevitably going to Navi, as Magisk really just trying to argue for fragging rights at the Deagle this point in time. 4 to go for Navi at this point.
That confirms the 13-5 as well. They're going to have to take a full eco here, meaning they purchase absolutely nothing into round 18. Navi are just in cruise control. They're enjoying themselves. Everyone's finding frags. They're working together. The timings are good. The aim is even better. And now, like I said, it has to be the eco. They'll invest some weaponry here. You can see Simple. It's nice to see him, big smile on his face. Don't see that too often. And quite the opposite on the other side of the camp.
Not the way you wanted to start the day in your home events in front of 12,000 Danish fans.
Well, this is the one you actually want to win, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Dane playing in the Royal Arena.
Keep in mind for Device as well, you pointed out yesterday he looked fantastic, just to be fair. But today's a new day, and he's off to a slow start. He didn't get to play in this event last year. Health issues ruled him out to the side. Dupree, good start at least to find Zeus. There's little does he know it and doesn't want to overextend, but there's actually a chance he could get toward that rifle. I say it, and that's exactly when Simple came around the corner from the party. So gets the shot on the AK. Device has to be perfect in this connector if he wants any chance to catch them off. He's going to go forward, sees the shadow. That gives him one kill, but that's exactly the time, and we saw it beforehand, that Edward was working in from long.
And more importantly, that's the two significant pistols going down. The Deagle and the CZ now removed. The PT-50 and USPs. Any chance they had of juking it out here is really falling apart. You can see Edward slowly but surely confirming himself a kill here on the A site. He knows exactly where Glaive is. Spots the second as well. They might be smarter just to book it back towards the B site here. Still got 40 seconds on the clock, but they know they're fine. That's a USB kill from Glaive. I don't think it'll be enough. Zipex gets some damage off. It's a successful round in one sense. They find some kills, but really not in another. That had to be a victory to really start getting excited about it. Device brings out the AWP here, Matt. 5 and 14 to his name. Zipex 3 and 14. It's not too late though. Astralis, they're #1 in the world for a reason. They're tenacious, they're resilient. They can pull this back.
Yeah, I mean, they've come back from worse. If you think about the major, obviously against Liquid on Inferno in group stages, it was the only game they actually lost at the major. They went undefeated in the playoffs. They came back from, I think it was exactly this, 13-5, maybe even less. I think it might have even been 13-2, or excuse me, 13-3 at a point. Forced overtime, didn't go their way, but the point is Astralis is tenacious, and they're extremely well-versed mentally. Probably the first team of any to bring in a psychologist to work with them on that. At times it shows. We'll see if they can dig deep. Device now does have the AWP, so let's see if he can really get rolling. Simple will stay on an AK. Clear the bathrooms. Behind him, making sure no one's going to wide peek from the flower pot, is Edward. So far, so good, as they gain some map control. Bomb intentionally left back toward the spawn stairs. They'll rotate for it. They're also going to get a little bit aggressive toward construction at B. So they've actually got everything they need to execute at this point. This is going to be a very passive defensive hold from Astralis.
Are we holding up? But they have no smokes remaining on the Astralis side. We're at the 1 minute mark, and they've expended almost all their utility. Electronic probing, and a Flamey will go down. It's a back and forth affair. Shot on 3! He'll get 2 and equalize things, but that was so close to absolute meltdown there for Astralis. Edward encroaching towards the A side, and Simple's with him.
And they know that that's going to cause a rotation as well. Dupree is already led off toward B. They've gone back to gather the bomb. That was a straight contact place, being optimistic that they could win picks and probe for information. They didn't have any intention of planting a bomb on the back of that. Device through the flames does find Simple. Good hold so far. It's not going to deny the plant because of smoke down and no one forward of the site. Good hold from Edward if he can spot the headshot toward Dupree. So 2 players back toward the bathrooms. No flank either. This is a straight retake on the confines of the site from Astralis. Device, we saw Simple do it. He can get on top of the box. He can defend the diffuser.
Oh, but the thing is, Matt, the diffuser has 19 HP. That's a problem.
Zipex that has the kit. If he goes at least toward the bomb early enough, he might be able to drop the kit next to it. They'll bait them out. He's tapped it so far. He's hoping desperately that they're going to peek on this because then they can defend him, but unfortunately they've left him for dead! Left him for Zeus, who finds 2. Device gets the response, but again, that kit's beside the bomb. Edward's so low, but he's not going to peek it. Absolutely no need for him to do so. 14 rounds for Navi.
That's Zeus and Edward absolutely dismantling Astralis there. They just didn't have anything to work with. Like we said, going into that situation, no smokes at all, no incendiaries, no flashes. They just had to try and defuse.
10 rounds in a row for Navi, by the way. 6 at the end of the first half, and now 4 to start this one off. It's not been Astralis' game. They've just crumbled. You're right. As soon as the guns come out, there's no answer from the star players that you would expect.
We'll check in with them. We don't like to point out this too much, but it's just when you got the best team in the world and 2 or 3 of the players haven't turned up, it's really a massive factor here. 4 and 15 for Zipex. Device gets 7. He's finding kills in the second half, but it might be too little too late at this point. 14-5. Money is broken once again, even with 4th stage loss bonus. They did save the AWP. They'll force up around it. They can't afford to lose any more rounds. Simple, 25 and 4. He's died 4 times. We're going into round number 20. That's insane.
Actually ridiculous. That's deathmatch worthy.
Yeah. So, final complexion for Astralis here. They do have the saved AWP, a UMP for Zipex, 3 M4s, 1 kit. Magisk and Dupree have no grenades whatsoever. This is going to be another tough round for them. Last round should have been theirs considering the situation, but it didn't have the utility to actually get the defuse going, and the low HP didn't help either.
pace for it. Door already open. Molotov inside of it. Dupree can't peek the hallway yet. Very off angle for Flamey at the other end of it. So he's actually waiting for this aggression. And, oh, he's read it perfectly. He's going to get some from Dupree. This could be a great start. Good pop flash. Great read from Glaive. Nearly snap back. He tried to play the wall so that he knew exactly where the player would be in front of him. Give himself benefit of the aim with no vision, but good first pick. They can use that to their advantage. Zeus knows exactly what that means, though. 2 players committed to the underpass position means no one should be at the front of the bathrooms because it's unlikely both B players are going to be there, and the A is going to stay passive off that information. So they start to take that. They start to get closer to A, force the defensive hand back behind the boxes as Majest peeks. Device can't close it. Couldn't find the angle on this side. He's got to be worried about long, so smoke down instead, hoping that someone is going to show face in front of the bathrooms.
Here we go then. The advantage for Astralis. We haven't seen it for a while. Can they actually capitalize upon it this time? We'll see the push from Glaive. That's not bad at all. That's going to confirm a 5 versus 3. Zeus is at the precipice of the A side. Decides to fall back. They've got 30 seconds here, and Dupree surely has their number. They're going to execute with whatever they can towards A. If Dupree times this well, he's got an easy kill. No problem at all. That's going to be around surely, as Electronic and Edward have to just push long and hope for the best here.
First shot, Electronic, but it took too long. That allowed Device the easy shot against him. Through the edge of the smoke, so good location for him. Edward slows up. That was actually perfect in terms of timing. Simple happens to look away to go back to the underpass. Dupree was waiting the whole time, knew that the rotation was going his direction, which means he could push. And with 4 seconds, they're going to try and save the AK, but it's finally Astralis breaking what has been an awful streak against them. 10 rounds. That'll wake them up.
Crowd still behind them, of course. Money actually relatively broken for Navi. They could buy one more here, but I would say at the scoreline, you don't really have to. You might as well just take a partial buy here around the AK. But like we said, Navi, one of the most infamous teams to purchase fully into rounds where you wouldn't expect them to and actually make it work. They're not going to purchase much, though. Just Deagles, some CZs around the AK. It's still a viable round for them, don't get me wrong. There's no reason why they can't win this, but they do not spend everything. Simple actually does. Goes down to $400.
That Deagle, though. Electronic, not even going to go for the apex jump, but times the peak. Nearly gets a chance to get just head removed. Device, good shot, takes out Zeus. So first round breaks the economy early. Exactly what Astralis need, to be frank.
Indeed.
Smoke still down. Zipix can't quite get through it. He's playing in the open, hoping that if they walk in, even if they flash it, he's already got the lineup. He's already got the crosshair placement. Narrow corridor, smoke dissipates, flash goes through, he looks away from it and peeks back, but he's blinded up, he's got to hold it, he's got to keep his nerve. Thankfully for his sake, Simple tagged to 7, was also blind, it could be at the shot in the counter distance, but it's Vinny Edward back on the AK, good find from Glaive, and has that gun and is certainly making it costly for them. 3 players up, they can't really afford to lose much more than that on the Astralis side if they want this comeback to be a reality.
There it is, there will be $1,900 coming into Navi for the next round. Edward might be better off just saving once again here. He's got 35 seconds to do so. I'll see if he can successfully fight. The thing is, Astralis can't really go for a hunt here. They can't try and take him down. So Edward will at least make his way up long. He might be going for the backstab from Bank and try and kill them in the B bomb site here. But right now, just holding up, reloads the AK as he makes his way towards the site. But at this point, 15 seconds remaining. Looks like I'll just hold on to the rifle. I don't think they can buy next round with Simple going pretty much all in on his investment in the previous. Goes down to $400. They're going to get $1,900 each. Obviously no bomb plan in this occasion, so it will be 14-7. And believe me, Astralis can still pull this one back. I have seen them do unspeakable things on Counter-Strike servers before. It will be a long journey, but they are back in this game now.
And speaking of comebacks, our first of 3 matches has ended. NIP did take down MIBR, but Cloud9 is struggling to close out against FaZe right now. They went from 15-5 to 15-10. So they've at least secured 1 point. Remember, round robin, you do not play overtime. Ties count, but just keep an eye on that, especially for the sake of FaZe, who led the tables at the end of last evening. Astralis will go immediately back onto the AWP for Device. Unlike that game, this one's still on 14, so Astralis could not only pull this back, they could get a win out of it.
Yep, absolutely. If it does get a 15, though, you are right. That is dangerous territory. Are they buying into this one? I'm surprised. Navi, again, don't have to. They've got this huge buffer of rounds. They're going to get AK. Simple has the Galil here. Zeus might have to go MP5 by the looks of it. I was about to say UMP. You don't really see too many MP5s on the T side. We'll see if he can make it work. It's more of a defensive weapon in my opinion, but I'm sure he'll be absolutely fine. They do have the smokes, the flashbangs, and could have taken another eco here, but going to try and get to 15 right here, right now. To be fair, if they did do it, Matt, you can see the money's actually relatively low for Astralis. If they took all 5 down, that could be a GG in itself.
Looks to be early. dupreeh, very aggressive. Flash over. That came from Glaive, and he's going to peek it. Good shot. Finds up one more, but can't quite get the kill. Simple's got it. It's Device instead. 2 with the op. And it's just Electronic and Zeus left. The buy yielding nothing thus far for Navi. That's a huge, huge win for Astralis early in the round. Now they just need to convert it, and in doing so, bring themselves much closer yet again with another save on the cards for Navi. Bomb still in their possession at the very least. All those kills too far forward to really secure the position for Astralis, but Device knows that if they want to continue in this direction, it's likely that they're going to go to the bathrooms. Oh, he spotted the shadow, but just backed away. Goes back for more, couldn't quite hit it. And that gives a little, I mean, this is back to just one-man advantage, and it gives a little bit more map control. The defense as well, with Electronic so far forward, this could still fall apart. They could still cut off the rotations.
And that's why Electronic pushes towards the bank here. He knows he has an advantageous position. The smoke down towards CT spawn allows them to actually get some wiggle room here. They can plant for bank and play inside the bomb site. That would be genius, but Zeus has got company towards long. He needs to act quickly here. Glaive's coming behind him with the M4, so the plant should be successful, but where does it go down?
It's going to go safe side of the box. They're expecting, obviously, a flank. They're not wrong. Glaive's perfectly positioned. Zeus in the open. So should secure the retake because Electronic's position, he has to go aggressive. He goes into Xyp9x. He gets the kill. And it is 14-8. Now, keep in mind, it is only a 3rd round bonus, but that bomb plant will help. They did fully invest into this round. They could force in the next, but either way, it's going to give them in 2 rounds from now an excellent buy.
I feel like another partial is required here, and that's why I wasn't too excited at the prospect of getting Galil's out and not really much utility, didn't have to, and now this is where you're opening the door of opportunity to Astralis, and they're so good at getting back into games. They know they're capable of doing this. Sure, it's a rough first half, didn't win the pistol in the second, but still, they're bringing this back now. 3 rounds in a row is all they need.
7 kills only for Flamey, but he's had his contribution. 18 for Edward. Everyone's contributing. Device is certainly woken up. He's up to 11. He's actually caught up to dupreeh, tied him now with Glaive. So that's good signs. Still need a little bit from Xyp9x.
Indeed we do. So the partial buy comes out once again. Zeus actually fully invests. He drops an AK. Gets one back in return, it looks to things. So he'll be the one using the AK. He got Simple there for Deagle. Begs the question why he wouldn't give it to him, but the in-game leader feels like he can cause some damage here. He did spend his cash. And this is still a dangerous round. We've got 1 smoke, an HE, armor, pistols, and Zeus on the AK-47.
Cautious to take control this time against Astralis. Edward, bottom of the stairs. Will work his way up with the Deagle. Flash out from the confines of the site. Should be telling that they're playing passively and that there's not going to be anyone on an off angle. So he's comfortable, therefore, to push up to the corner. Optimistic op shots towards the wall from Device, hoping he can tag someone up. That's pretty good. dupreeh didn't even know he was there, just sliding out toward long. Oh, what are you doing? Well, free kill. Flamey's got one in response, though. Keep in mind, because now he's got another with the Deagle. This is absolutely becoming a problem for them. They know dupreeh is out toward long. Cheeky little nade. That'll soften them up, but does it allow the M4 now to spray straight through them? As Simple baits out a lot of shots, and Flamey goes wide. It's suddenly Navi looking to find 15. It's all on the Magisk. He's down to 8 HP. Bomb is planted as well. Nade is brilliant from Magisk. That gives him a chance. Low HP on Simple as well, but he doesn't have a second one to work with. He's picked up a smoke at least as he gets closer. That tries to buy him time to get to the bomb, but now at least a tie secured for Navi.
Well, there it is. The 1 AK-47 and the Deagles, as I mentioned in the first half. Navi are excellent at finding scrappy rounds with Desert Eagles. You saw their aim and the brilliance displayed as they make their way towards the A bomb side there. Overwhelming at times, and Flamey, he delivers the killing blow that really got them in towards the bomb side there. And then just sprays them down, gets the on-4. Did get taken down by the nade, but his job was done at that point, Matt. What an absolutely epic performance. That's the nade that took him down. And like we said, money is going to be a bit of an issue here. Now 7 rounds in a row required from Astralis not to get overtime, just to get a point on the leaderboard.
Keep in mind that round as well highlights exactly what I said about Flamey. He hasn't had a ton of kills, but he's had a massive amount of impact. All of his kills have been super influential.
If you get the 4K on an eco to get you match point, that's impact, I think we can safely say. So absolutely, didn't need a ton of frags this game, but has certainly got them close to the finish line. As we'll see, the UMP, a CZ for dupreeh. There are double orbs. It's Device and Magisk. It's normally dupreeh that picks it up, but Magisk will sometimes join in with the AWPing responsibilities.
Just to note, FaZe is now on 13 against Cloud9, so that's truly slipping away from the Americans, but double op, you mentioned it. This is trying to steal it away from Navi in many ways in that respect, trying to get back to that tie position. Another point, it would be a second tie for Astralis in this tournament. I knew there was going to be some close games today. Yesterday was very telling of that. So Flamey holds outside of Monster. No aggression toward long at A at this point. Nothing trying to, or really no one trying to establish any map control. Looking for some pace potentially toward the B site. 2 smokes available to Astralis, that's all. Xyp9x and Glaive, the ones with them. So that does put them both onto the B site. Magisk, good first shot. They wanted to go for contact. His op finds both. They didn't execute. They wanted a straight up brawl, and they get it. Magisk brilliantly holds it off. That gives him support from Xyp9x as he slides down. And a smoke finally on Monster as well as Sandbags. Navi has no choice but to fall back. So watch toward Edward because he's looking at long for other options.
Great stuff from Magisk. A little bit fortunate not to be taken down by Simple on the repeat, but he does get the 2 kills. 2 of the most important ones as well. Simple and Flamey removed from the equation. Bomb down in T-spawn. Edward probing towards long, hoping to find a CT out of position here. But why would anyone want a challenge towards long whatsoever? All they need to do now is hold the bomb sites and try and maintain their lead. They need everyone to survive here. They've currently got a CZ, a UMP. They want to upgrade here, grab those AKs at the end if they can, and keep everyone alive so they actually have money going forward. But of course, money not really a massive factor for them now, considering they're 1 round away from giving the game up.
Play for still though. Zeus gets Xyp9x. Didn't need to get that aggressive.
Didn't need to at all, but it will be the round over. It's going to be Navi saving 3 weapons here, absolutely fine.
And 2 ops, importantly. So that will give them further economic advances. They don't have a ton built up. Again, like you say though, they can just keep buying everything and everything available to them because they don't really matter. If they lose 1 more, it's over anyway, so it's not like they're building up a surplus. The utility, they'll max out. They've got 4 nades for everyone. Kits on all but Device. He's bought out just his smoke to go along with his AWP. He threw a weapon over to a teammate as well. Nonetheless, bit of a different setup. Glaive gets forward. They haven't put a lot of pressure since the round where they flashed dupreeh into Flamey. They haven't put a lot of pressure on the underpass position. Glaive looked like he might have gone that time. With 3 players at bathrooms, they certainly could have supported him in getting toward that doorway, but he elects to rotate back the long way, and he'll sit toward Heaven at this point to watch out B. Heaven's fine. Okay, he's going to go a little forward. I was going to say Heaven's fine, but it doesn't really offer much other than watching Monster should the push exactly this fail at water, and it has. Magisk goes down. Xyp9x has to fall back.
There's that inquisitive probe towards the short area. Mage is taken down early on in the round as well. 1 minute 10 remaining, and still with the majority of the utility, you've still got a couple of smokes there, flashbangs, molotovs as well. Bomb still down in towards that connector position as Edward will get up towards long once again. Mage is removed, Device still up though with the AWP. He's holding towards the A sites.
Glaive wants to go back for more. First you don't succeed, do the same thing. Exact same thing. Problem is the door's open this time. Flamey can't find it. Surely he should have gotten 1 from that. So much damage done. But yet finally they do take down dupreeh. It's electronic, smokes down in front of him, wants to find Xyp9x on the other side. Smoke will at least hold them off, but bomb's not toward the site yet. And Edward on A could actually mean the bomb goes that direction. He didn't get the kill on the Device. Further kill on B. Now this sells it though. This sells it and convinces it. Device gets the kill on Edward. The fact that he only got 1 and the bomb was so far delayed, it wasn't even an intentional fake at that point. They were looking for picks on either side, but just due to the delay of arriving on B, they actually started to rotate off. Thankfully, Xyp9x realizes it and goes to the window instead. As Simple, the last-ditched effort with 7 seconds, has to commit to the bomb plant. 8 WP for him, and we know how quick he can be with it. As Device's forehead shows, and that's enough. Just a pixel for Simple, and he's got the one-on-one, which means he can play the time on this bomb. 3 kills for Xyp9x. No utility, no smoke to put on top of this. He's got to bait Simple into a shot that Zipix is going to desperately hope he misses because then he can respond against the AWP. Holds it on it. He's not getting off it. That's the game. Simple controls it. 16-9 for Navi.